Hello and welcome fans and friends, my name is Super 8-Bit Ben and today I'm going to bring you a video that I have been highly anticipating, and today's video is going to be my 102% review of A Hat in Time. Now, I did do a video a small while ago kind of showing my first impressions, and here we have my I actually downloaded this fan mod that lets you wear a Mario hat, and like there's another skin you can get that looks a bit like Mario. But anyway, I did do a video a small while ago showing my first impressions of this game, and I absolutely loved it at the beginning, and I could tell you there's some good news. It stays just as consistently good at the beginning as it does throughout all 40 levels. I've never played a game that has been this consistent and fun, and so I'm going to show you, there's just a couple of levels that I've beaten. In fact, I've beaten all the levels in this game, and now I'm kind of working on some fan levels, I guess. I love these little intro cards because they're really well drawn and very well detailed. I really appreciate how colourful this game is. It's very big and expansive in every single chapter, and chapters are the worlds that you explore. So in this one we have a sort of almost Isle Delfino type location. This game is very much inspired by Super Mario Sunshine, but actually sports much better controls than Super Mario Sunshine in many ways, such as being able to, if you equip the right badge, yes, you have to equip badges to actually get certain moves. If you, what they call bonk into a wall, you will basically climb up it and then grab onto the edge if you actually, hit a certain area of the wall. And I think that's a very useful feature because, I couldn't tell you how many times in Mario I would have fallen off if I didn't have something like that. Or I have fallen off because Mario can't do the wall climb that Hat Kid can actually do. I don't really show many cutscenes in this video because I don't want to spoil the story, but this is a important story cutscene, and it's very cute. While I was recording the footage, I didn't realize that I wasn't recording the music at the same time. I do highly recommend you guys check out the music for this game. It was composed by Grant Kirkhope and a couple of other people, and it just is absolutely outstanding. I mean, it's on the scale of like the music that you hear in Super Mario Galaxy, and if you haven't heard of the music in Super Mario Galaxy, pause this video, listen to both Mario Galaxy 1 and 2's soundtrack, then listen to A Hat in Time soundtrack, and you'll probably understand what I'm talking about. This game is amazing basically every area. Graphically, it isn't the most amazing looking game, but it is very appealing. It's very cartoony sort of aesthetic, and like the level design kind of helps make up for it because it is pretty challenging along the lines of, like, say, Super Mario Sunshine and Super Mario 64 difficulty. And for some people, they prefer to have a bit of difficulty when it comes to 3D platformers because it kind of makes you think from time to time, okay, how am I going to cross this gap, how am I going to climb up this ledge? And there's plenty of moments like that in this game, such as this level you have to use your grapple hook, which is something that Mario will never have, and it kind of reminds me a lot of Zelda having a grapple hook. In fact, it actually reminds me of Wind Waker because Link uses a hook shot very much in the same fashion, so I would call this game a cross between Wind Waker and a cross between Sunshine in some ways, and it actually looks very similar. It looks like a slightly better GameCube era 3D platforming game. And this section here that you see on the screen reminds me a lot of Super Mario Galaxy because there is platforms, I believe, in that game that actually fall down whenever you stand on them, and that's a pretty common thing in 3D platformers in general, but these are just like little switches that you have to press. And I guess what that kind of reminds me of is a certain level in Super Mario Galaxy 1 where you're having to run on top of a 8-bit Mario or 8-bit Luigi, and you have to press all the switches if I press them twice. And I actually really like that one. That was one of the hardest challenges I played in that game back when I was younger. And it this game brings back a lot of great memories, and also has helped create a lot of new amazing memories that I'm very happy that to have experienced. And to think that this game was actually made by two people is outstanding, like really outstanding. Now, yes, they did have some help, and obviously, I don't think they made the music or anything like that. Obviously, Grant Kirkhope helped them with that, but like his work in this game is so much better than it was in Ukulele. He's done many things that are different to what he usually does in the past. Next up we have Alpine Skyline, the free roam version. Now this is the only level in the game where you can actually do free roam, which means you have no particular story objectives to achieve, but you can still like go to certain sections of this map and get a timepiece if you feel like it. But in general, you want to follow the instructions of each of the missions and stuff like that. But anyway, there is 3 main locations that you could head to in this level in particular, and there's lots of little branching levels that you can go to inside this one particularly huge ass level. Like, I would call this probably the most expansive level in the entire game. You kind of go around on like zipline type things, and that's how you kind of navigate this level because it's so large, and each part almost feels like a world of its own. Like, it's crazy. Here we're kind of heading towards a windmill section, which was probably like the hardest part of this entire level in general, and of this entire chapter, and possibly of this entire game. Like, that was how insane it was. But like, at least that's how I felt. Like, at that point when I was playing that level, like after I beat it, I kind of felt like that moment in Rick and Morty where they kind of got into their spaceship, and then Rick and Morty kind of go absolutely insane because they literally just survived something that wasn't supposed to be something that Rick planned, and like that's exactly how I felt. This level was absolutely insane. At least this one section was insane, but and pretty lengthy too. It certainly taught me that I have not completely mastered 3D platformers like I had originally thought. This game kind of breaks new ground in terms of difficulty. While not being like the most difficult thing you'll ever play, it will definitely test your reflexes and your timing and everything. And I think that's a great thing, because while there's not many 3D platformers in general nowadays, the thing I like about 3D platformers is the fact that it tests your timing and things like that in general. Next up, we're going to be skipping to the Subconwell level inside the it's some kind of like Halloween town world. I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's called Subcon Forest, yeah. But this level is also very expansive, and again, each world is very big, and in general it gets bigger than the first level, which was Mafia Town, which was the one that showed at the beginning of this video. This is a very good example of one of the parts I love the most about this game is certain sections where you have to kind of think of how you're going to get to certain things, like these wool balls that are lying around. You'll definitely want to collect these things if you love mini challenges when it comes to 3D platforming. It will keep you busy for hours and hours and hours. Like, in general, I actually beat the main game itself in 21 hours, and that means I collected all 40 pieces in 21 hours. And again, with all the new fan levels coming out and also 2 new worlds, this game's only going to get bigger and longer as time goes on. And I really hope that the texture work gets improved and the frame rate gets improved, the camera gets improved, and lots of things get added, such as new hats and stuff like that will help find certain collectibles and stuff like that. We need a map and we need stuff like that in general, but as the game stands, as it is in its first phase, or at least second update, it's a very stable game and it's very fun in general. It's very playable. There has been a couple of times where it actually froze on me, and like I did actually lose a bit of progress in this particular world at one point, but it literally took me like a good 15 minutes just to get back to where I was, thankfully. You're best just saving whenever you find something very important. If you think you can save and get back to an area fairly quickly, then just do it, because as the game is in its current state, it does crash from time to time whenever something very intensive goes on. Like, that's something I've noticed, and like there was one part which I don't have video footage of where I noticed that you can kind of dash into a wall and you'll kind of just slide along that wall unnaturally, and it looks a bit weird. Here we're actually inside the Subconwell, which is one of the best parts of the game, and really kind of shows what full potential this game could have had when it comes to texture work and like lighting effects, and like for me, this level looks amazing. And like there's all these like little particle effects which are all over the game, but in particular they really kind of focus on it in this particular level in particular, and say in particular a lot, but like this level is stunning looking, and this is where you get your hook shot. If you're kind of wondering where you get the hook shot, You do unlock everything that you use in this game, except for obviously your jumping ability and your hitting ability. Everything else is unlockable, and you don't have to pay for anything besides the game. And like, I just can't praise this game enough. It's just, there's so much content for so little money. Like £23, at least in the UK. Like, that's super cheap, and I believe it's like $30 in America, or $35. Like, I could be wrong, but for whatever amount it does go for in your country, it is 100% worth your money. There's more stuff coming. I'm sure they're going to patch all those problems I had out of the game, and that's really about it. There's two last things I need to kind of mention that I also really enjoyed about the game. There's these little like rift levels. There's some that are pretty lengthy, and there's some that are very, very short and easy. Think of these more or less as the Mario Sunshine or Super Mario Galaxy a cappella levels. I think it was a cappella. I think there was a cappella music in those levels, but if you know what I'm talking about, these are very much like those levels, and obviously they are entirely based on those levels in general. And like, these levels are solely based on just platforming and using your timing skills and stuff like that, and I really love stuff like this that kind of, again, brings back good memories, and it really does test your skills. Like, to me, gaming is about challenging yourself. It's about making yourself better in every single game. I mean every single game, even sports games. You know, games are all about the challenge to me, and not about the graphics, in my opinion. Like, I think once you get to the point in the game where you feel like you have complete control, that's whenever you know that you've enjoyed it enough that you can really see the game for what it's trying to do and trying to be. And like, blimey, there's so many of these little rift levels that you could check out. The music is very ambient. I'm sorry that I can't include the music here, but I might get copyrighted anyway. Something else, the last thing I want to talk about are some fan mods, and this here is actually an official mod, which is Raz's hat from Psychonauts. Obviously you have the Mario hat that I was wearing earlier. This is a fan mod that was made. They have a Sonic hat, which obviously lets you run around fast, which is cool. Some of these have unique properties that will let you run around, such as Sonic, in the Sonic hat and stuff like that. Here we have Lilac's spin attack from Freedom Planet, which is also an official mod. So far we only have 2 official mods as far as I know to my memory. Here we have the train conductor's hat, which allows you to throw rubber knives, quote, rubber knives, which is a bit strange because he never held the knife in the game. There is someone else in the same area, and I don't want to spoil anything, but that's a really nice little touch anyway. And I believe there's 2 versions of the hat. I think maybe for whenever you use your motorcycle, which apparently requires a different mask, which sounds about right, because I think there's one mission in the game where you kind of deliver packages and you have to wear a certain hat, I believe. And there's another hat that you wear in one mission in the Dead Bird Studio level. It's like a parade level, and someone actually added that as a wearable hat outside that level, which is really nice. So yeah, there really isn't that much else I can really say about this game. I've said a ton of stuff in these past few minutes, and I've actually had to like re-record certain parts because for some reason my audio goes missing. So I hope you guys appreciate this long ass review. And Gears for Breakfast, if you're watching this, do you mind providing me with a code so I can download the music officially? I just can't afford it anymore. I'm completely poor, to be honest with you, and it would really help out if you would send me the music so I can enjoy that and maybe talk about even the music at some point. But yeah, that's the little vehicle thing I was talking about. It's very cool. It helps you get around a lot faster. Of course, there's actually a time stopping hat that you can wear that slows down time, but this is also a very fast way to get around in general, and isn't nearly as complicated as a hat is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you haven't come across this channel before and you enjoy my content, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, but only do that if you want to.